today the essentially we will start the course, okay, and we'll progress accordingly. So prior to start this course, do you have any questions in your mind to know about our objectives?
Sagar, would you be covering any sort of project foundation?
Yes, this is project foundation purely.
Does this include setting up of a project, all those things?
Yes.
Okay.
The project foundation is completely covers the PA suite, essentially costing and billing, followed by your management as well. All right. Okay, I will share the course content. In fact, that was already shared initially by the admin team, and whoever that will one more time it is going to share across. Okay, I have already informed, and they are in the process to share the course content. All right. So this is the course content which you guys have received initially, who are responded to the admin email. All right. So this is the course which already we discussed, and it's the time to start into the system, and we have. Okay. So actually, in order to start as a first step in project foundation implementation or the costing implementation, essentially all the prerequisites needs to be completed. Okay. And as a part of the prerequisites, all the related, your multi-org has to be set up first, and all the related around the multi-org different hierarchies are going to set up. So this is the very first a fresh instance was given, and according to the client requirements, we will set up the system, your multi-org, followed by all your general ledger setups going to be fulfilled. So keeping that point as an assumption that we have everything is placed in the system, okay, and we can progress, but I can show you what has been set up before, okay, and we can able to do the same for your practice, or you kind of anything you want to do it in the system. So the very first thing in a sequential way, when you want to enter some cost, or when you want to implement the foundation, project foundation, like costing, PJC we call it as. Okay, so the very first thing what we need to have as a part of your prerequisite is to have your first business group supposed to be set up. So for every business group, there is an HR job group is going to be assigned. You must know all those things. We will practically go into the system, and we will note everything in our Excel sheet, and we'll progress. Okay, whatever I'm talking now as a theoretical, practically we'll go and we'll see everything in the system as well. I just wanted to repeat what all things are required, so that we have an understanding before going to the system. That's the point we are discussing. Okay. So once my business group is ready, so obviously the system will create the job group in human resource associated to your business group. So that has to be noted down, because in various levels of setups in projects, essentially the job group is required. So that is why we need to track in our documentation. Okay. And next, we have to have the legal entity. The legal entity setups must be completed and followed by the ledger setups, the primary ledger, or if required, the secondary ledger. These are all the financial consultant, the functional financial consultant would take care of everything. As PA consultant, we don't have to worry about them. We don't have to look, and you know you don't need to set up anything. You just have to go there and try to understand what's your legal entity, what's your ledger, and finally what's your operating unit as well. So you just have to know all the prerequisites and just go and check in the system that how they configured and what is that. You need to track everything in your bare 100 documents. Okay, so everything was documented. Then assume that your system is ready. You have the multi-arc have been set up to operating unit level. Then actual organizations will come into the picture. The moment organization we talk, that's a little different organizations here in projects. So we call it as the project organization. We normally, the inventory organizations have been created. Along with the inventory organization, we have to create a certain number of project organizations. Why I call it as project organizations, will go and will clearly, I will explain what are the various options, various functionalities that can be worked upon on a given requirement using these project organizations. So there are different within the project organizations, we have different classifications. We have organization classifications. The same org can be used for your expense, so it is called expenditure owning organization. And the same organization is eligible to have, to bill the customer. So that is one more billing organizations. So those are the different classifications would come across. Those I will create in the system, okay, in the class. So that is where we actually create the organization as a first step. Okay. Any questions?
Sagar, nowadays there is an requirement that financial consultants and project consultants should be doing all the setups. So one person would be doing all these configurations in terms of setups. So in terms of this requirement, right, at least if we could explain all the prerequisite setups, that would be helpful for everyone.
Sure. We have tracked everything in an Excel. That Excel is also going to be present in the class. Okay, so you don't have to miss any sequence. What is there, first, second, third? Everything will be tracked in an Excel, and we'll go by the Excel. Okay, in order to follow the sequence and to understand in a better way. Okay. Yes. Anything else? Any other questions? Okay, that's fine. We have an instance. I just got this instance. Okay, this is already used in other training sessions. So this is essentially 12 to 4 we are given. So release 12 to 4 we are working. That's what the question yesterday. And we'll check all the futures in 12 to 4. And one more thing I would like to discuss. This point was not discussed in last class. The very important points we did not cover as part of your course content, but it was written down. This is one point we need to have essentially in ongoing business, that is your periodic closing activities. Generally, this is a business activity. Business is going to perform actual closing of your periods in projects. Okay, whether it is the PA period or PAGL period, we have two different kinds of periods have been set up in the projects. I will clearly explain when the topic related topic comes. We'll explain what about the why we do have the two different periods in project subledger. And every period closing, we need to follow a certain number of procedures. Those things predominantly we'll talk very in detail. Okay, for an 30 to 45 minute session, almost the end of the training. This is the final topic we would be discussing, so that we are not missing any daily operations as a PA consultant. So you are in a position to handle the every point in your ongoing activities. So this is the one topic I did not discuss, and this is going to cover essentially all the activities, and if requires, if time permits, we can see the automations also. Okay, and the and make sure that when you are doing the closing activity, it is a purely business activity. It's not the functional warning or the vendor warning. It's clearly a business activity, but you need to extend your support, all the support to have a smooth closing. Okay.
So Sagar, what would be the class timings?
Generally, we are going to start 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock to 9:30. So this is what timings of the class.
And how many approximate classes will take?
60 hours.
To complete.
So it's 60 hours are required. So which takes approximately 40 days. And if we could able to spend some time over weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, the first week, Saturday and Sunday, normally we don't have any session. But the second week onwards, we can figure it out based on availability of each participants and myself. We can able to set up some sessions on Saturdays and Sundays. So the overall number of hours are 60 at the rate of 1.5 hour each day. So 40 days course is required. This is what we fixed.
Okay. And will you be sharing the recordings, Sagar, after the class?
Yes, I informed you will be receiving all the recordings today, along with some. Uh, Normally, what they will do, the admin guys, they will share you the link. Okay, they will share you the link. You can go there and you don't have the rights to download it. You can go and have the video any number of times. That is what the information I've received, and admin will reach out to you right after this call. Okay, I'll inform them to reach out to you over an email. You just have to go with the instructions they will provide in the email. What's the URL, how to, what is the passwords, and everything they will share. Okay, they are already preparing the work, groundwork for each participant to have the videos. Okay.
Okay, Sagar. And sorry, Sagar, I didn't join yesterday's class. So so in project we have different parts of project, right? So I'm going to cover all the different sections.
Yes. Yes. Yesterday is about only the introduction and other topics what we did not cover. Okay. And I would like to inform the one who is not from the e-business suite or EBS Oracle EBS background. I have already alerted the admin to to send a separate link for the participants who require the training. So you don't have to read any of the document. They made very easy for other. So you just go there, all the prerequisites, the links, the videos are there. Just go there and try to grab the things using the videos so that you are able to understand and you can cope up with this class. I think there is a participant by name Lakshmi. So essentially, you please, admin will reach out to you today to have the sysadmin or AOL activities, essentially how the different modules are going to set up, what are the profile options we are going to use, and the naming conventions, and fundamentally the definitions of the each entities. For example, responsibility, what is a responsibility, what are all the things which covers under everything. Detailed videos are there, so they will reach out to you. You just drop an email to them. They will give you the corresponding link where the videos are there, so that you are in a position to understand all the prerequisites. Okay, so I think this weekend would be the good time. Those kind of participants who are not belongs to the e-business background, they can go through the videos and they can understand the content.
And Sagar, you are going to cover the entire project suite, right? Like costing, billing, and
Yes.
so which
I'm
one we are
going
going
to
to
cover
start with?
not only costing and billing. I'll be covering the project management and project resource management,
Okay.
and part of the PJT project management. PPM is also going to cover project portfolio management.
So all these are
Those
in the
short
project
forms
suite?
I can write. You don't have to worry about the short forms when I talk PJT, PJC.
Fine.
Don't have to worry. Uh, we will have an Excel preparation so that you will get to know all those things.
Okay. And Sagar, normally, I believe they send a PDF file, right, with the course content and what we're going to go through in the course. So will you be sharing that for this course?
Yes, I think it was already shared sometime back by the admin team. If not, again, this is the file. Okay, they will share one more time. This point is already in their radar. They already prepared an email. You can shoot the email to all the participants. I think all the initial whoever asking this, everybody has this file with them, and the new participants, they might not having. One more time, they will send, or else you do one thing. Whoever requires the course content, you just drop an email to the admin team, ERP tree admin team, so that they will consolidate one more time all the emails and they can send across. Okay. I think some of the new participants did not have this file with them. Okay.
So Sagar, this Oracle project management and project collaboration, are these new modules separate to project suite, right?
No, they are part of the Oracle project accounting suite, from the beginning.
Okay.
But these modules has a very great futures, so that the customer fulfillment is going to be, the business fulfillment is going to be very, very high, and they are manager friendly. For example, project management, okay, whatever the setups or whatever the operations are going to happen in costing and billing, those things will be tracked in management, and this can go as a better user interface to the manager or the higher, hierarchy to know the performance of the each project. What is the project performance? They can able to see in terms of your not only the numbers or the reports, in terms of the graphs and pictorial view also is possible through these modules. So that the Oracle is designed the project management module, part of project accounting suite, to give a better user interface as to the managers or the higher management or senior management of in your business, so that it will fulfill the majority of the requirements. With if your costing and billing, the foundation is having a certain number of futures, your PJT will be having almost double futures.
Okay, so all are tied together, that means, right? Project costing, billing, and
yes,
project management.
Essentially, all the transactions will be happening in costing and billing. There is no transaction is possible in management, but it has an ability to track all those data by seeded process itself, and you can able to pull a report. You can see the different levels of drill down to the task, subtask, or sub project associations. You can drill down to any levels, and you can pull out a report, and you can see the profitabilities or your performance, everything, and you can generate a graph also. We will see all those things. I will generate some of the graphs, based on the revenues or invoicing cost, and I can show you project performance reporting. There's a topic called PPR. Okay, and when I go down here, there's a very important. This is PPR, project performance reporting. This is it helps to the management a lot. Okay.
So
Sagar,
this
sorry.
Sorry, Man. This report, whatever you are referring, right, Sagar, would that be only specific to the key members, or would that be all active projects, anything like that?
The report is like not only the key members. It is for the it can go to the every project. It will pull. Okay. the entire operating unit or the entire business unit, whatever any number of projects, we can go and have the performance of it. You can have the graphs, you can have the pie chart, you can able to see any number of the projects. Even if a project is closed, generally closing projects we don't bother, right? If any project which is active or available or whatever other, if required, you can able to see.
Sagar, small query.
Yeah.
Hello. Just keep the questions and queries after the session, because like this it goes, it will be difficult. So whatever comes up, no, the people will be regularly asking. So at the end of the session, last 15 minutes, you can just tell them to ask the queries.
Yeah.
That will be better part of going ahead.
Correct, correct.
If we are doing that, Imran, we'll be missing
Yeah.
the content altogether. Suppose if we have a question at that point, if we are not getting that, and if we forget to
Yeah.
ask, so
No, you can note it down, okay. And once the session ends, because see, you have just 1 hour of timing. This is how it goes online training all. Because I myself is a trainer for past 12 years, okay. And it is always better, because in between, if you ask, no, the even the trainer forgets what to go ahead on the training part. That will be also a miss this, because he'll be having some concepts in his mind, and the last session, if you ask the queries, it will be more clear for you to explain, and it will be more understanding for yourself also, and it will be like the 45 minutes to 1 hour if you attend the training, and then if you ask the queries, it will be better for the trainer and the students also.
No, and that too here the problem is the new guys is joining from last 3 days, so everyone is asking the same questions repeatedly.
Yeah, that is not a problem, because new guys are there. So ERP admin can take any queries or something like that. They can just request an email to them, and they can get the feedback from the ERP admin. Because Sagar is for past 3 days we are not able to have we are not moving ahead. Where
Exactly.
I see, yeah. So it is better to move into the training and then have the queries started. Right, Sagar?
I also
Yes.
agree the same. Yes.
My audio is clear. You guys able to hear my voice?
Yeah, Sagar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello. Guys, able to hear my voice?
Yes,
Yeah,
Sagar, we
yeah.
can hear you. Maybe he's not able to hear us.
Okay, okay. Yeah, now I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, something's also coming. All right. So, yes, Imran, I saw your message. The questions at last. Yes, that is recommended. Okay. Please
Yeah.
have your questions in the chat box, and we can answer all together. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Sagar.
Right, but these are introduction
All right.
classes, right? We definitely
So,
will have questions. So I'm just making my point, because without knowing what's going on in the course, how can we decide on the course, right?
right.
So I think we all should ask questions now, then later. Yeah.
Okay. So we will actually prepare an Excel every day. Okay, so that we will not spend an additional effort. Okay. So what I'm going to have here is I can go into the system which is already defined by some other trainings. They have already used this, and we can go and check. Okay. So you should have the business group associated to the job group to it. This is the first point we would like to see, and my entities and my ledger. So essentially primary ledger, and we might have the operating units is also created by this time, and organizations. So here in these organizations, what I'm going to talk, these are not the regular organizations, these are the project level organizations, the project organizations. Okay, so the moment if I say the project organization, uh, essentially this is the classifications. Based on the classifications we can use, or we can restrict the organization at certain number of transactions. For example, assume that in my operating unit I have 10 organizations. Okay, in 10 organization, out of 10, only organization number 4, a specific organization, is only the organization eligible to book an expenditure for some location. For example, for a Houston location, the organization 4, org 4, is the only organization eligible to book an expenses for any of the projects in a given operating unit. If you have these kind of restrictions or the business requirements, certainly we have an ability to restrict at organization classifications. So all those classifications we'll discuss, and majority of the business, how they follow, based on my experience also I can share you. So these are the points I would like to touch upon on the organization's topic. Okay, so these are the project orgs versus classifications. So this is the topic essentially we'll be discussing. And finally, hierarchy. So this hierarchy, I would say the very first setup in project accounting, normally we'll do this. Okay. So this hierarchy will be, we will define the hierarchy. Okay. And under the hierarchy, we'll give the organizations. Each and every organization, what are all the organizations would come across in your hierarchy, will be defining. So this is the sequence. Generally, we will go into the system and we need to verify. Okay, and these things, when you are trying to practice, these things will be, this is already available in this instance, which is in this one, it is 1224. So if not, if you have any questions, the basic videos, the admin guys, they will share with you, because this is already done with the previous training. This is not our requirement. Okay, so these requirements already available in other videos. Just go and have and get hands on it, get familiarized with that, and you can come here and create your own set of multi-org, and you can move ahead. Okay, so but whatever the project accounting related setup, yes, we will discuss it in detail. Okay, so I think we'll go into the system and we'll see. Till now we did not create any project related responsibilities, but I can see some responsibilities already created with this user. We need to have our own user, so those things are the prerequisites expected. So we can create our own user, and let's see what are the responsibilities we have here. Okay. All right. Essentially, we have all payables, receivables. These are the some of the responsibilities have already defined with this user in this instance. Okay. So we need to create. We need to have all these responsibilities when you talk about the integration as part of it. Okay. So guys who is not clear how to create a responsibilities, what are all the profiles, the minimum number of profiles we need to assign. So please have the videos and get familiar to it. Okay. All right. Let's take any one responsibility, and I would like to check the hierarchies or the multi-arc, what is my business group and all those stuff. Okay. So cloud accounts payable super use. Okay, let's have this. Okay. All right. I'm going to the sysadmin here and just go by the profiles responsibility. Payable super use. Okay, let's have this. For example, okay. Okay, can someone tell me list of profiles, a minimum number of profiles that needs to be assigned at responsibility level?
It's MO operating unit is one of the main responsibilities.
Okay, that's good.
And then
Yes.
Real
Okay.
data access set, data access.
Yes, yes. So I will, all those profiles are essential. That's great. And I will go in a sequence, okay? So that this is the sequence I'm going to follow when I create my okay. I myself go in a sequence so that when I create the project responsibility, costing responsibility or billing responsibility, wherever I create a responsibility, this is the order I'm going to follow. Okay, so that we are in a sequence and we will not miss any of the profile options. Okay. So this is essentially what we have. The ledger name I must have. And this is the profile option, right? So we must have this. Okay. And the second profile option in a sequence manner, HR user type. So HR user type, this is the second one will follow. Okay. Next, HR security. HR security profile, this is the business group we will associate to it. Okay. So these things are the prerequisites in the system. When you create the responsibility, these things are already there. And MO security profile, this is the next profile option, which is already set up as associated with business group, at responsibility level. And finally, the operating unit. So these are the things we need to always go in a sequence way. And we can also give the default one, no issues. Just I wanted to default this one, that's it. So this responsibility, there's no default one, but we'll keep, for projects, we can keep one default operating unit so that we don't have to worry which OU I need to default, okay? So these are the profiles I must have. These are the, okay, these are the minimum number of profiles we need to associate for any generic responsibility when we create. So the ledger name, user type, security profile, MO security, operating, and default. Okay, essentially these 6 responsibilities in the same order I will use, okay, and we can assign whatever. These are the ledger they have already set up, and the business group they have already set up, and we'll see what is the job group against the business group created by human resource system. And the OU is already created like this, okay. Okay, and the default they did not give any default for payables responsibility, okay. Now along with this for each responsibility or in projects you name, even you create multiple responsibilities, okay. For each OU you have your own responsibility name, and you want to allow only certain number of transactions, only certain number of functionalities you need to allow. That is normal. Restrictions will keep against the responsibilities, right? And along with that, in projects, whatever the additional profiles are required, that will be discussed very in detail. These things I will not discuss, okay. These are the prerequisites or the foundations, financial foundations we'll be discussing. This is out of scope. That is why I just wrote these names, okay. And the profiles related to the projects, there are so many profiles we are going to discuss, and each profile functionalities, how it restrict, and where we need to enable. All those the profiles related topics in projects will discuss very in detail, okay. So I must go and check this ledger and chart of accounts, the structure, how many accounts and what are the different accounts, because we need some certain number of some certain accounts in order to show some futures in billing. I must go and check some account and their classification. Okay, I will check offline. All right. Guys, are you clear now? For any responsibilities, the minimum things what we require, just keep this. And all right. Okay. So from tomorrow onwards, what we can do is we'll start exactly. We'll go and check the complete ledger setup, complete the business group setup and operating unit, how they associate, operating unit, everything associations will see in 12.2.4 instance, okay? And we can start actual setups in projects. So actual setups in the sense I'll go and create some organizations and hierarchy. So tomorrow these two setups will be completed. It requires a lot of explanation. It requires a lot of futures because I need to explain the different requirements in the organization, because this is the key area we can able to explain to the customer to restrict their business. Okay, organization classifications, restrictions we can explain to the customer so that they know the in and out of the product and its futures. Majority of the customers, they don't go by this, but we can explain and we can use this so that it is helps to the business. Okay. All right.
Sagar, do we have class tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yeah, tomorrow in the sense it is okay. Today is Friday, right? So
On
next
Monday,
class
right?
would be on Monday. Yeah, Monday.
Okay.
So Saturday and Sunday, first Saturday and Sunday we don't have class. So Monday we can discuss all this. Okay. By that time, I'm also go and check these structures, all those stuff. Okay. So
Yes,
some
sir.
of the structure related issues I need, because I have seen the vision instance structure related errors. I have seen before. So those prerequisites, I myself will go and verify in order to have a smooth session. Okay.
Sure.
Yes, Sagar. So, actually, are you sharing any videos? Recording
Sure,
videos?
the recorded videos will definitely shared by the admin staff. Okay, they will do one thing. You just drop an email to erp3.com at gmail.com, so that by default they will send today. By default they will send to all the participants about the link where the videos are downloaded. All the videos are already available. They downloaded from the networking, the meeting center. It is available right now. It is just they will go and give the access. Okay. So they will reach out to you immediately after this class by an email. You just go and have the video so that every day after the class they will download the video. They will give the respective times. You just speak with them, or they will reach out to you by default.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So let's wind up today because actual course will go into initiate from Monday onwards. All the prerequisites I must check. Then only we can move ahead. Okay. So a fresh session with the complete project foundation, a fresh session. I would like to start.
Sagar, I just have one question before we end. Sorry.
Yeah, can you please little louder?
Yeah, I just have one question. Is SRMS module mandatory before we can set up projects? I know you talked about job role, right?
Actually, yes. Actually, we have within projects we have shared human resource forms, so that we don't have to require the entire human resource enabled. Okay. For example, when you have the users, okay, the users generally, or the employees or the users, when we go and define the employees in human resource, right? The employee form or the employee menu option, it is already available within the projects as a shared resource or the shared forms, so that you don't have to enable the full set of human resource. We don't require it.
Okay, perfect.
Okay,
Got
we
the
have the
answer.
shared menus and shared options you can use as a dummy.
Okay, so the basic things are required, right? Like employee.
Correct, correct. Right. Those things will be also discussed a part of session. Why we how the shared forms are used. Especially this point we discussed in project resource management. Okay. So when you have an employee or when you have the user created, you need to have a conversion of PRM resource. Resource is different from the user, okay, or the key user. So those points will be definitely addressed very in depth in PRM module discussion.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Sagar, Sridhar here, Sagar.
Yes, yes.
Hello. Yeah, Sagar, actually, I'm a technical consultant on a techno-functional, but more into technical. This is the first time I'm on to project accounting. So, do you suggest any prerequisite for me to better understand the structure before going ahead?
Okay, technical, you have a good exposure in finance modules. Can I expect that you worked most of the time in financials rather than any services or the manufacturing? So once you're more familiar with the financials, I would say you are the one who benefits more than functional consultants. Okay. So I can explain each topic functionally, and I will also touch some of the technical components so that it is more useful to you specifically. Okay. So the prerequisites, coming to your question, the prerequisites you are well aware of the responsibilities, creation of the responsibilities, profile options, basic flow of the invoicing, basic flow of FTO, inventory transactions, inventory movements. You are aware of it, right?
Yes, I'm aware about
it. That's it. No, you don't require any of the prerequisites. You just have to follow the terminology in the project accounting. It's a bit different terminology we used. You just follow that. Okay.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
So we have some student guides. You can refer the student guides. You can follow the videos. So just use the terminology of project accounting. That's it. You don't require anything.
Sagar, I've heard that the project management integration is not good. Is that a true statement? Means the data which is flowing from costing and billing does not get updated on a regular basis in PM module. Is that correct statement?
I would say in certain cases your statement is correct, but when you have a proper maintenance of when you have the transactions recorded in the foundation, when you have the jobs scheduled to update the complete set in the management, definitely there is no disconnect between the foundation to the management, the data populations or the dashboards. But due to lack of course, I agree, PJT is a complex user interface. Okay. It doesn't mean that it is not handling properly. It will handle in a way that if you maintain proper scheduled programs where the replicate the data, okay, interface the data, update all the project units in management, definitely there is no disconnect. But the only issue with management is the design. The complexity is the design of the user interface. When you open any of the HTML page of management, we feel so many submenus of functions, so many things. Instead of having 10, 20, you'll be having within one menu, you will be having the 20 submenus. Within each submenu, one more 20 submenus. So you having a complex design is there, but that is going to eliminate in Fusion. Okay, in Fusion, extraordinary handling of the portfolio management will be happen. But okay, but I will walk through you in management PJT in a way. If you follow my directions, you will be direct spot what is required, how to do it, and what to do it. So I will eliminate the confusion if we go in a proper channel. Okay.
Because I've heard that there are some performance issues and multiple tabs, like supplier tab. If we go all those, it takes a while for us to populate the data.
Right. Actually, the technical complexity is very, very high in project management. Huge number of APIs have been brought into this module. This module itself is technically it's a high complex, but I would say if you handle in a proper way, it's okay. But it has a complexity technically. We don't have to worry. We have always the product support. We have the Oracle. Even Oracle also knows that the design or the user interface itself is very complex.
Yeah, one more question, Sagar. In terms of using the resource planning in project management, do you need to have a full HR installed or shared HR? Can we use shared HR to do the configurations?
Yes, that is sufficient. If my business is not required to implement the full human resource, why should I go and get the license? I don't require, so I don't purchase the human resource. But within the projects, the shared human resource, the menus are available. I can get my job done there. Even in PRM, scheduling resources also fine. I just have to convert the users into PRM resource. There is a conversion process is there, so that once my resource, my user is converted as a PRM resource, I'm done. I don't require the full human resource implementation.
I believe we can do the forecasting as well using this.
Exactly. That is the beauty of project accounting. Forecasting, your budget can be forecasted. Your cost can be forecasted by integrating to Primavera. You can schedule it. So that is the advantage of the this product.
Sagar, are you going to cover basic project contracts and planning? Those?
No, it is out of scope. Project contracts is totally out of scope. We are not going to cover it up.
Same with planning and control and portfolio analysis, right? So those modules also.
Yeah, PPM I will PPM project portfolio management. I will touch upon in PJT itself, but not very high level how we discuss the management, costing and billing. I will not go very in depth, but I will touch upon the project portfolio management in PJT.
And planning and control does the same thing with the resource management, am I correct?
Yes.
It is.
In the syllabus, it is already given. Whatever is given, that is definitely covered. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So we will wind up. We'll wind up for the day, and we will start actual course from Monday, and we'll okay. And all the queries related to the videos or previous sessions will be addressed by the admin team. They will reach out to you today itself.
Thanks, Sagar.
Thanks, Sagar.
Have a nice weekend, everyone. See you on Monday.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sagar.